What it do, cucks? It's your boy, the hater, and it's time for another video, another SmackDown review, because that's what this has come to now, you know? Let's just get this shit over with so we can get to the part where we talk about WrestleMania for the last time before WrestleMania, which is tomorrow. The hater also has to do some work tonight, even though it's late as hell, because I want to be completely free Saturday and Sunday so I can watch WrestleMania, even though I know that's probably going to be a complete waste of my time. Nevertheless, let's get started. Seth Rollins, who is the third man in the triple threat match, is the only one that's here tonight, right? Obviously, everybody knows that people don't want to be here, you know? Cena's here, so nobody else needs to come. But Seth Rollins is there. Basically, he says CM Punk has always been in it for the money. He's obviously 100% right. The fans are completely out of sync with the chants that maybe pumped in at the time. Rollins also says Roman doesn't care about WWE and the fans, which is a fact, right? Not necessarily a fact in real life, but a fact in kayfabe, you know? After that, Rollins basically is trying to make it like a Shield thing. You know, the Shield was associated with CM Punk for like 10 seconds, loosely. Nobody really cared about that. Everybody knew the Shield was going to be like its own thing. But anyways, he tries to gaslight us about Roman Reigns as well, you know? He's like, oh, Roman was supposed to be like the golden goose, you know? Obviously, in reality, that was true. But in kayfabe, which is what we're operating under, Seth Rollins betrayed Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, right? The authority was on Seth Rollins' side. So what is he talking about, you know? It was inexplicable, but the authority was on his side. And he became champion first between those three guys. And he was like a legitimate champion. He was also like U.S. champion at the same time, you know? But anyways, he basically says that he will win, and this is a complete massive waste of time. Speaking of massive wastes of time, it's time for the prestigious Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Nobody could possibly care about this. It's literally full of only jobbers. Like once in a while, the Andre the Giant Battle Royal will have like someone that has some value. You know what I mean? Like, you know, in one random year, you might get like Big Show in there or something, right? Or Kane or someone that like is of a certain quality. This is just a battle royal of only jobbers, right? Not one person here will ever be WWE champion, you know? Anyways, that's neither here nor there. One interesting part was that Wade Barrett, who doesn't know what the fuck he's saying half the time, he says like, last year, Bronson Reed won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, right? And then he like pretends that Bronson Reed's dominant year had anything to do with this. It's actually the complete opposite. He won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and his gimmick was, oh, I get no opportunities in this company. Meaning that the Andre the Giant Battle Royal did nothing for him, right? It was the exact opposite. It was like he expected some opportunities, got none, and then started beating up people like Seth Rollins, right? And also, now he's injured, so honestly, who cares? But that's how that went down. What do you want to do, right? In the end, it's Melo and Andrade. Melo wins. Nobody cares at all. The Andre the Giant Battle Royal has literally not helped one person ever, right? Like, not one winner has seen their career improve after the win. Literally every winner has had their career go downhill, right? The Andre the Giant Battle Royal, in my opinion, should be like the best winner for me would be like Matt Hardy, right? Because he's like this legendary wrestler already, and him winning doesn't really change anything, you know? It's just like like one more feather in his cap. But that's how that goes. Then we have an unnecessary promo from Charlotte Flair. Nobody could possibly care. Then Rhea comes out and says she will win Sunday. This is every time someone spoke today, all they said was, I'm going to win. Great. Like, you're all going to say that. So what the fuck do we care what you think, right? You're going to have the match tomorrow or Sunday anyway, so it doesn't matter. Io Sky comes out, and luckily she's not allowed to say anything because Bianca comes out and gets mercilessly booed, right? Nobody seems to understand how this is possible. I saw this YouTube short where this guy was saying it's because of racism. It's because Bianca Belair is black, right? In my opinion, this kind of mentality and attitude is like, I mean, it's only held by the weakest people in society, right? Like anyone that thinks that what's happening to them is a result of something that they cannot change is, quite frankly, probably a pussy, right? These people could not last one day, like in my neighborhood growing up, you know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. The point is, that's fucking stupid because right after that, after Bianca Belair just says nothing important, Naomi comes out. She needs a new theme, in my opinion. And she doesn't get booed like Bianca got booed, right? She's black too, but she didn't get booed. That's because probably, right, unless you're retarded, you can clearly see that Bianca Belair is getting booed because of the reasons that I've been saying for years now, right? It's just that the neckbeard fans are always a little bit behind intellectually. Eventually, they all catch up. The same way that the dumbasses that thought that Karrion Kross was going to be a big deal eventually caught up. People are going to catch up with Bianca Belair too. She offers nothing. She's boring as fuck. You know, she has no gimmick. People are like, her gimmick is that she's the EST. That's not a gimmick. That's like saying that, you know, like Cesaro's gimmick and Sheamus's gimmick was like, it's like saying Sheamus's gimmick is that he says fella, you know? It's not a gimmick. That's just something they say, you know? Like, that's like, if you think that's a gimmick, you're fucking stupid, man. It's as simple as that, you know? And the hater is taking it all off. We're taking it all, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying it like it is, as usual, but now even more so, you know? It's time for people to kind of understand, like, you know, people even put in their place a little bit, you know? Not necessarily by the hater, but it's like, if you're a fucking dumbass, the hater's gonna start calling you a dumbass, you know what I mean? So, anyways, Naomi comes out. She's, like, more entertaining than Bianca, but nothing special either. Her whole caution tape thing, I thought it was gonna be a one-time thing. Apparently, it's just like what she wears now. It's fucking retarded. It's really, really stupid. But then Jade Cargill comes out wearing, like, electric-themed, you know, attire, right? I actually enjoyed the Jade Cargill moment, right? She's obviously, out of everyone in the ring, she's the one that has the highest ceiling, in my opinion, and the one that deserves to win a title the most. You know, we've seen everybody else win a title. They all suck ass. Jade Cargill's the only woman in this segment that hasn't won a title, and she's the most believable out of all of them. Basically, she gets angry at Bianca, justifiably so. Since the entire storyline was Naomi, Bianca, and Jade Cargill, and Naomi betrayed Jade Cargill, Bianca needs to take a hard stance, right? She needs to either help Jade beat up Naomi or help Naomi beat up Jade. One of these things needs to happen. Her just being like, none of my business, is another reason why people boo her, because she's a shit character. The character is just so boring. You know, she's basically just, I'm here to wrestle, where's my next match? And people are like, that fucking sucks. That's boring as shit. Now, I will concede that there's other wrestlers that have a similar character, like Rhea Ripley. She doesn't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, everything just happens around her, right? This is an ongoing problem. When you have a wrestler like Bianca Belair, like Rhea Ripley, like Cody Rhodes, and things just happen around them. In other words, other people just go and carry the storyline for them, right? Rhea Ripley, same thing. Liv Morgan and Dominic carried her ass. Now that she doesn't have them, nobody cares at all. You know, it's only a matter of time before people turn on her too, if she keeps going this way. But anyways, it is what it is. Complete waste of time. At the end, Io Sky wins the brawl, which doesn't matter at all. Who cares? Then, I should note that earlier in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, Rey Fenix, who was the highest on the card guy out of everyone that performed because he's new, he was eliminated by none other than El Grande Americano, who was not in the match, but came and interfered to eliminate him because he's also a luchador or whatever, right? Afterwards, Chad Gable and American Made are just like backstage, and he's mocking Rey Fenix, right? Then Dragon Lee comes out, who's fucking there for some reason still. Dragon Lee comes out and says some bullshit in Spanish and basically says that like Chad Gable needs to respect Lucha Libre. I don't know why anybody needs to respect Lucha Libre. There's this like weird form of bullying that happens a lot in America where someone just tells you like, you need to respect this. And like if anybody ever tells me you need to respect this, I'm just gonna laugh at their face and be like, you can kiss my ass. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to respect fuck all. If I respect something, I respect it. If I don't respect it, I don't respect it. And that honestly shouldn't bother you that much, right? If I think Lucha Libre is horseshit, and you're like, you need to respect it. No, I don't. Why? Why do you need to respect it? You know? And honestly, why are you so butthurt? I don't respect you. I don't respect the thing that you love. I don't care. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna like piss in your face about it, but I don't have to respect it. You know, a lot of people do this with different elements of society. They're like, you need to respect this law. You need to respect that thing. You need to respect this thing. Yeah, I respect things if they are worthy of respect. I'm not going to respect something just because I'm told to respect it, dumb fucks. You know, one time the hater and one of his very, very good friends had a conversation and she was like, we need to respect all cultures. And I'm like, well, some cultures think it's okay to stone people to death. Sorry, I don't respect that shit. I don't give a fuck if you think that it makes me close-minded. I think it's close-minded to respect it, you know? You have to be open-minded and think, wait a second, what the fuck? How far have I gone here? I'm respecting shit that needs not to be respected and needs to be called out or fought against, you know? And Lucha Libre is not one of those things because I enjoy Lucha Libre, but as it's presented in WWE, I have no respect at all for Lucha Libre. In my personal opinion, the fact that both Dragon Lee and Rey Fenix are signed to this company is a sin against humanity. You don't need both of these guys. Neither of them have any personality at all. They both just wear a mask, talk like assholes, and then go get their asses whipped. You know? You can just do that with one guy. You don't need two. Simple as that. But folks, and this is especially true when you have Rey Mysterio, an absolute legend, and one of the GOATs in there, right? Rey Mysterio comes out, and this leads to a 6-man tag match. Another thing that I didn't like about this segment, even though it was brief, it was really stupid. The Creed brothers and Chad Gable are like, you want to fight us? As you'd think that the Creed brothers are the Dudley Boys and Chad Gable is the Undertaker. The Undertaker, player. You know, these are like the biggest jobbers in the company. They are among the biggest jobbers in the company. Like Rey Mysterio has accomplished more in pro wrestling than American-made, including Ivy Nile, will ever accomplish in their entire careers combined. So they're talking down to him like, for some reason, Brutus Creed should have any kind of, confidence in his abilities in pro wrestling, right? Like, the Creed brothers are incredible athletes, so is Chad Gable, but nobody cares about that, right? They're not entertaining. They really aren't, if we're being honest. American Made sucks, man. They're just like a bunch of retards, and now Chad Gable has to pretend he's El Grande Americano. This is a complete waste of time, and another drawback to Chad Gable's push. How many times does he have to go through these humiliations? Anyways, Rey Mysterio is a complete GOAT, not only for his contributions overall to wrestling, but also for the fact that he wrestled tonight, despite wrestling at WrestleMania. Rey Mysterio, who must be almost 50, if not 50, right? Rey Mysterio wrestled tonight. Meanwhile, people like CM Punk can't even show up. CM Punk can pretend that he's this big deal in wrestling. He absolutely is not. Rey Mysterio is 100 times better as a wrestler. The impact that Rey Mysterio will have when it's all said and done is like 100 times bigger than CM Punk's. It's not even close. You know? Like CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins combined are not going to have the legacy of Rey Mysterio. It's going to be very difficult to have the legacy of Rey Mysterio, motherfucks, and he's out there wrestling, you know? Speaking of which, I Googled Seth Rollins today for some reason, right? Because in his promo, he mentioned that his father had cancer, and I was hoping that the father made it out. There was no information on Wikipedia. But what it did say on Wikipedia, it said that Seth Rollins is considered, let me read it, let me fucking find this shit, because it was so humiliating, in my opinion. It was just so bad, like what the person wrote. It was just like this complete glazing of complete untruths. You know, and that's the kind of shit I hate. But basically, I'll read it here. It says, he, Seth Rollins, is characterized by his over-the-top, eccentric persona. All right, fine, that's true, right? And here it is. Here's the part that I hate. And is revered as one of the most versatile characters and in-ring professional wrestlers of all time. No, he isn't. That's a fucking bold-faced lie. Nobody, when someone asks you, who are the most versatile characters in wrestling? No one's gonna say Seth Rollins. Like, then no one's even gonna think of that shit. He has no versatility at all. He's just Seth Rollins in the future, and just gives himself dumbass nicknames. The Visionary, the Architect, nicknames that don't make any sense. I'm the Visionary. What? You're a fucking cuck is what you are. Anyways, that pissed me off reading that shit. Anyways, then we have a match between Motor City Machine Guns and the Street Profits. Clearly, nobody cares about this. This is not even good enough to be on a pre-show at WrestleMania. The Street Profits, DIY, and the Machine Guns need to be released. I mean, clearly, it's like they don't entertain anybody, right? They're so bad, they're so boring that they're not even good enough to be in WrestleMania. Fucking like Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre are in WrestleMania, and these guys can't make it. Again, I hate to gloat, but I will, right? Remember when the dumb fucks, the dumbass wrestling fans were saying how in a few years, Montez Ford is going to main event WrestleMania. In a few years, Montez Ford won't be good enough to be on the pre-show of WrestleMania. That's basically what I said when he debuted, like in the fucking, when he had like his first singles run, we'll call it, where he was in the United States Championship Elimination Chamber match. People were like, this is it. He's going to be a method star. And then I'm like, no, he fucking sucks. Like, I don't even know what you people see in him at all. And then everyone's like, hater. It's because he's black. WWE held him back because he's black. There are times, of course, in my opinion at least, where WWE has held people back because of their skin color. Ain't no doubt about it. You know, there are times that like I think to myself, like, all right, some of these people should have probably gotten better. Montez is not one of them. The same way that Karrion Kross wasn't held back because he has one emotion, or because he's white, or because he's bald, or because he has long hair. Some people are quote unquote held back because they suck ass. And Montez and Karrion Kross and Samoa Joe and all these guys that were missed opportunities, they're all in that category. Like, when I first saw Samoa Joe, X Division, that kind of shit, I was like, this is badass. Because he's doing cool ass moves that I hadn't seen before, and he's having incredible matches, largely being carried by AJ Styles and Daniels, but Samoa Joe was definitely good in the ring. Then it's like him versus Kurt Angle, and I'm like, this is just silly. Like, Kurt Angle would completely body this guy. But anyways, fine, keep it going, right? Then after that, Samoa Joe basically cut the same angry promo for the next 15 years and did the same 3 moves, and people were like, unbelievable. How did Samoa Joe not beat Brock Lesnar? I don't know. Maybe because Samoa Joe is fat and short, and Brock Lesnar is a fucking monster of a human who would eat him in 3 seconds. And you expect Samoa Joe to beat him? Come on, man. Like, fucking get serious, honestly. Anyways, DIY ruined the match, which makes it even worse, right? It's one thing for Motor City Machine Guns and the Street Profits to not be at the pay-per-view. This is extremely egregious for the Profits, who, quite frankly, like, even though I'm saying that Montez Ford is never going to be a main eventer, I will concede that of the people in this match, as it stands now, because the Motor City Machine Guns were way better than the Street Profits back in the day, but nowadays, Montez Ford is like the guy in this 6-man situation that deserves a spot at Mania. He could be put in like some gauntlet match or something, and do some high spots, right? There's nothing like that they've done wrong. It's not like the Street Profits did anything wrong. They're the tag team champions, but there's just not enough room for them. They're not good enough. Quite simple. Then, speaking of not good enough, just kidding. Orton definitely is good enough. But Orton comes out and says he won't sit out of WrestleMania. He will be there at Sunday, and basically he challenges anybody. This was great. I actually enjoyed this. This is, by far, the thing that I'm looking to the most for Mania, especially for Sunday. But, I mean, I don't care about night 1. But, this is the only thing that I'm looking forward to, because there is an element of surprise. Who is Orton gonna wrestle against? I don't think it's going to be Solo Sakoa anymore. I'll get to that later. But, like, that's interesting. It could be him versus, like, Mick Foley. I don't know. It could be anybody. That would be sick. Not him versus Mick Foley, but it's going to be a sick moment. I'm going to be like, oh, shit. It's the Orton segment. Only because we don't know who it is, right? Everything else I don't care about, So I enjoyed this. Things that I didn't enjoy was Damian gets interviewed and says he will beat Drew at Mania, A very standard promo, right? I have nothing to complain about with Damian, except for the fact that he said Drew McIntyre is going to get future endeavored again, right? Which, I mean, it's true. Drew McIntyre was fired for being a massive jobber. But when that happened, Damian Priest was a fat bastard in the indies. So, I would relax with that, because Drew McIntyre definitely has had a better career than Damian Priest in WWE and in wrestling, period, right? But nevertheless, I prefer Damian Priest. I hope Damian Priest wins. But the reality is that I don't really give a flying fuck, Like, I hope he wins. I hope it's a short match. But if he doesn't win, I'm going to be on my phone during this match the whole time. I could give a flying fuck. Then Zelina and Chelsea is made by Nick Aldis. It's not for the title. Zelina beats Chelsea with like a top rope code red. And then instead of playing her theme song, probably because nobody knows what her theme song is, because she wrestles once every 8 months. And when she does, we don't see her theme on TV. They just play the SmackDown theme, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is like easily the dumbest song ever created. Like, it's just a broad counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. It's like the song is made for retarded people. Like, if you like that song, I'm sorry. You're fucking stupid, man. It's simple as that. Anyways, LA Knight comes out. He's massively over. He says he has the most matches and the most wins. And therefore, ipso facto, the US belt is the belt that matters the most. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. LA Knight is right. He's pretty much carrying this shit company as it stands. Then he says he's going to beat the shit out of Solo Sakoa. Solo comes out. LA Knight puts him out and gives him 3 the hard way. Yeah. Then we see Jacob Fatu standing menacingly on the table. Like, I could totally see Jacob Fatu winning this. Personally, I don't think it's going to happen, but I could see it happening. It might. Like, it's 50-50, I would say, right? I don't, like, more likely than not, though, I feel like Jacob Fatu will have the match almost won, and Solo Sakoa will interfere on Jacob's behalf, but he'll, like, fuck it up. So then LA Knight will win, and that's going to start the Jacob Fatu Solo Sikoa internal feud, which absolutely nobody could possibly care about, you know? I don't care about Jacob Fatu. I find him to be overrated and boring, but hey, I get it. People like him. It is what it is. Speaking of overrated and boring, we have an interview with Tiffany Stratton. She's annoying, right? And this was interesting when her character was that she's supposed to be this like rich daddy's girl, right? Whose father pays for shit. That would be okay because those girls often are annoying or are portrayed as being annoying. But now she's just an athlete. She's just another Bianca Belair. Like, I don't see anything to cheer for. At least Bianca Belair is, and I'm going to get some heat for this because I know the world loves Tiffany Stratton, but at least Bianca Belair is good looking. Tiffany Stratton isn't even good looking. You know what I mean? It's fucking weird how she made it this far because she's literally Bianca Belair without the accolades, right? And without being attractive. That's basically all she is. Like, her and Bianca Belair are probably equally athletic. You know, I could see her doing the same things as Bianca Belair and vice versa. But they're both boring as shit. So I don't like either of them cucks. Next up, we have Luchadors. The Luchadors. I'm calling them the Luchadors. Basically, it's Rey Fenix. When I say Rey, of course, I mean Rey Mysterio. Rey Fenix. And fucking Dragon Lee versus American Made. The Luchadors win after Dragon Lee does the Destino, whatever the fuck he calls it. Project Mexico, Project Dragon, or whatever. He does it, and then followed by a diving Meteora by Rey Fenix. They pin one of the Creeds. Nobody cares, right? Like, this is a meaningless match. They're excited about it, but none of this matters. Like even the Rey Mysterio El Grande Americano match doesn't matter. Like, this would only matter if this was a mask versus mask match. Like, I swear to God, like, if Rey Mysterio wins this, I fully expect Chad Gable to win. Because I feel like if Rey Mysterio was going to win this, they should have just made it a mask versus mask match. You know? Like, just to make it more interesting, you know? Just to give that, there's that 1% chance that Rey Mysterio will lose and be unmasked. You know what I mean? There's that 1% chance of that happening. But that's how that goes down. We'll see, motherfuckers. After this, we finally get to our main segment. It's not a main event because it wasn't the last match, but it was a main segment. Cody Rhodes comes out and Cena follows. As Cena is following, right, Wade Barrett calls Cena a piece of garbage. Like, fucking get over it, Wade Barrett. We get it. You thought, like, Wade Barrett's like just another CM Punk. Like, these are people that thought they should be WWE champions, but they really shouldn't be. Like, Wade Barrett is like one of the first times when the hater like pointed out, like, I'm like, whoa, wait a second. You know, everyone's pretending this Wade Barrett guy's a big deal. He fucking absolutely is not. When he became Bad News Barrett, he was entertaining. But Wade Barrett, like with the Nexus was fun, but Wade Barrett was as generic as it gets. He's as generic as Karrion Kross. He's as generic as Bianca Belair. So when John Cena, the far more charismatic and entertaining John Cena, literally buried him under a pile of chairs, I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I thought would happen. This is exactly what should happen. The notion that Wade Barrett should become a WWE champion just because the Nexus is entertaining is absurd, right? Wade Barrett's boring as shit, motherfucks. I'm glad that he got a job commentating. I'm talking about him as a wrestler now, but I don't care. After this, Cena gets the mic, says the same exact shit. Then Cena says that he told Cody that the belt gets heavier like every single day, right? And for some reason, Cena presents this as like something different, right? Because he's like, people give you gold watches. But I told you it gets heavier. Like, what? What does that have to do with anything? Like, he's presenting it as if like, you know, that was some sort of prelude, some sort of foreshadowing for the betrayal of John Cena. It doesn't make any sense. That's stupid as fuck. You know, Cena helped him win the match, dumb fucks. Anyways, Cena says Cody will lose because he cares about the fans, which is also retarded because Cena is a 16-time world champion. More than literally anybody else other than Ric Flair, right? And he's a 16-time WWE champion, right? Like, Ric Flair won a bunch of bullshit like, oh, the NWA title, nobody cares. Like, who's the NWA champion now? I think it's like fucking James Storm, or who I like, actually, but it's one of those guys. It's like an indie guy, like Tom Latimer or whatever, right? Who are like, they're good wrestlers, but it's like, nobody cares about these guys. These are like people that didn't make it out of NXT, you know? So like, nobody cares about the title. John Cena clearly is the most decorated wrestler of all time. But he did all that as a face. He did all that while caring what the fans thought. So for him to now say like, oh, Cody will lose because he cares about the fans, That's just stupid. Like, that never stopped Cena, you know what I mean? The Cena heel turn is so forced, and I think now that we're done with, the road to WrestleMania, we can all say for a fact that the John Cena heel turn has turned out horribly, right? I predicted this, of course, night one, when everybody, it's like, don't you motherfucks see the trend? You tell me I'm wrong, and then I end up being right, like every single time, motherfucks. You know what I mean? They're like, hater, you totally got this wrong. Cena's heel turn is gonna be epic. Well, if you still think it's epic, at this point, I'm sorry. You're fucking stupid, man. That's just dumb as shit. Nobody could possibly think this was a good build, right? Cena mentions The Rock, but doesn't explain why he betrayed Cody Rhodes in relation to The Rock. He just says that because Cody didn't take The Rock's, deal, right? Like before Cody said anything, Cena said, he knew that he had no way of beating Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. I don't know why. He just beat CM Punk. He just beat Drew McIntyre. He just beat Damian Priest. He just beat a bunch of other people. But for some reason, he's scared of Cody Rhodes. Whatever. It is what it is. But then he said that once Cody Rhodes said no to The Rock, Cena knew that he had no chance because Cody, cared for the fans, right? They haven't explained yet at all because The Rock did the signal to Cena. He was like, kill him. He did the whole cutthroat thing, right? And Cena, it appeared at Elimination Chamber that Cena reacted to this by beating up Cody Rhodes. It appeared almost like The Rock was giving orders, right? Or at least the go-to to Cena to basically say, go ahead, beat his ass, right? I allow you to do this. The Rock has not been seen since, motherfucks. Think about that. Would you believe that shit? Even I, who thought that it was going to be a horrible heel turn, even I thought The Rock would show up at least once. Motherfucks. He hasn't shown up one time. The Rock said, Cody, I want your hole. And then Cody was like, I'm not giving you my hole, Rock. And then go fuck yourself. And then after that, that's it. The Rock went and fucked himself because John Cena took over. He attacked Cody Rhodes and he was like, it's me now, cuck. And Cody Rhodes forgot about The Rock. The whole sell your soul to me, Cody, was a one-day thing. It was really, really bad, motherfucks. But anyways, it has been handled. And just to finish this rant, this mini rant within a rant, and it's been handled in the worst possible way that could have been imagined. I can't think of a way. If someone said hater, here's the storyline. Cucky Rhodes says no to The Rock, and Cena turns heel. Write the worst possible scenario you could. I literally don't think I could write one. I don't think anybody could. This is the worst possible scenario. I mean, obviously, aside with going from the absurd, John Cena comes out and takes a shit and puts his face in it, in the middle of the ring. You could write absurdities like that. But I'm talking about within the conventions of wrestling. It's it would have literally been better if Cena never appeared, right? It would have been better if Cena never appeared and it was just Cody Rhodes having 2 or 3 matches and cutting 2 or 3 promos, and then Cody Rhodes goes to WrestleMania, and then we all anticipate John Cena, right? We anticipate, what are we going to get? What's Cena's new theme going to be? What new moves is he going to do? Is he going to get a haircut? Blah, 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 blee, 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 right? And then in the end, we just get the same old Cena, right? And then that way, you could also guarantee that Cena would get booed at Mania, which is not going to happen, as we clearly saw today. Basically, at this point, Cena is the Bray Wyatt, and Cody is the John Cena, right? This is the Bray Wyatt, angle, the children don't care about you, John. I care. Bray Wyatt cares. Come into the darkness, right? And John Cena's like, I can't come to the darkness, Jack. The kids need me. This is the same fucking shit, except John Cena is now Bray Wyatt. It has not been explained well at all. Basically, Cena's like, you booed me for 15 years, so now I'm turning heel. It's the fucking dumbest thing. You couldn't write something dumber, man. Whoever the fuck wrote this, Triple H, maybe it was The Rock's writer, or maybe it was that jobber, Lee Fitting. Who doesn't matter. Maybe it was Rikishi. He did it for The Rock. It doesn't matter who wrote it. This was garbage. Eventually, let's move on to the end of this segment. Cody starts talking. He gets booed mercilessly. Right? The fans don't like him anymore. It must be because he's black. Because that's all I've been hearing on the internet. Right? Maybe it's my algorithm. They're like, oh, Bianca Belair is getting booed because she's black. So maybe Cody's getting booed because he's black. Who the fuck knows, right? Cody Rhodes is getting his ass booed, right? Because he sucks ass. And then Cena gets the mic. But before that, Cody buries Cena saying, you're pale, which is, I don't know how that's an insult, to be honest. Because in my opinion, Cena looks better than Cody. Cody's red. He looks like Trump. He looks like fucking Trump, motherfuckers. But not in a good way, And he doesn't have the charisma of Trump, so there's that. But Cody Rhodes comes out like all red. He looks like Ric Flair when he was probably like 10, because Ric Flair is always old, motherfuckers. But basically, he says, Cena, you're pale, and you still can't wrestle. Like, Cena says, I don't need to wrestle to beat you. Does like a bullshit eye poke, gets him up for the attitude adjustment, which should now be called the FU, by the way, right? Especially since he's heel. But they're not even gonna do that. Cody, wiggles his way out of it, hits the crossroads, and you'd think that's the end of the show, but it's not. We have another 5 minutes where fucking Joe Tessitore, with the enthusiasm of a retarded pilgrim, he basically says, he's like, here's the card for tomorrow. First, we have this match. Then, we have that match. Then, we have this match. It's can't miss TV, right? It's like, imagine if JR was doing that, He'd be like, King, I can't believe it. Tomorrow we're going to find out whether Damian Priest is going to get his hands on Drew McIntyre and what bloody hell he's going to, put Drew McIntyre through. And then King would be like, I know JR, but I'm more excited about puppies. And speaking of puppies, it's going to be Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte. That wouldn't be a good segue, because when you think of Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte, you don't think of puppies. You think of plastic surgery and fucking weird looking blondes. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. The point stands, right? Joe Tessitore ruined this segment as well. Then, in order to take the show off the air, they just go to Cody on the rant. He's holding the title, right? And this is it. This is the WrestleMania that Triple H just booked for you dumb fucks. At this point, if you're a wrestling fan and have been one for more than 5-6 years, and you really think Triple H is better than Vince, I'm sorry, motherfucks. You're fucking stupid, cuckolds. Pin this bitch.